That's not the answer.
No.
The options are gravy or not gravy.
Correct.
But neither. Okay.
Milk is the gravy.
Neither of them are gravy.
Milk is the gravy.
Those are not gravy. What is the gravy is the particles of cereal that mix with the milk. So it's only after the cereal is combined with the milk and then the milk left behind.
So, Lauren, you're telling me the stuff you put on mashed potatoes is not gravy? It's the stuff that mixes with the potatoes and the gravy?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Templeflight.
What is the milk?
It's a bite.
The gravy is a combination of roux and like.
No, you don't get to make up a third option.
No, there's no third option.
It's the combination.
This is issue 5.
I'm basically saying, what is the meat and what is the sauce?
Why would the cereal be the
milk
gravy
is
and
the
not
gravy
milk?
and the cereal is the potatoes.
We've genuinely been
Gravy
talking
has
about this for
components.
15 minutes.
It's obviously the milk.
I'm
So the argument is that the cereal could be on top.
Sophia distracted. I'm
because
with
no matter how
you.
you put the milk in,
This is
But
the most
you
upsetting.
pour milk on top
The
of the
cereal is the
cereal, and
substance.
anyone who puts their cereal on top of their milk is a sociopath.
but like,
Some
the
of
thing about
these-
it is, regardless, then the milk is on the bottom and the cereal's on top, regardless of how you
Yeah,
do it.
but you pour it over
that
the
is-
cereal, thus it is the gravy.
But I think
Pour
all of us
gravy on
except
mashed
for Lauren are in
potatoes, not the other way
agreement
around.
that the milk is the
How is
gravy.
it any different?
You know
if you
what?
were
Only gravy is gravy in this world.
If
And
you were to
everything
put-
else is
And
not
everything
gravy.
else is not gravy.
That's the hill
So you
I
mean
will
it's
die
just
on.
our world?
if you were to
Neither
put
of them
gravy
are
on top of the
God.
mashed potatoes, right? The gravy, assuming you didn't put like a little
Lauren, this is
bowl
not
in the mashed potatoes,
I'm really
the gravy
excited
would
to
go
have
to the
our-
side,
our-
just
our
like
exciting game
milk
tonight.
on
We'll
the
get to it
cereal.
soon.
Milk goes to the side of the cereal. The gravy goes to the side of the mashed potatoes. It's the same. What is a liquid? What is a not a liquid?
Right, so we all agree it's
Yes.
milk, not the cereal.
No.
But they're not gravy. Only
But
gravy is
what
gravy.
is the equivalent?
You know
It's a
what
literal
what
question.
a friggin' what a
But
little
I can take it
metaphor
however I
is, right?
want.
Like
It's a
Lauren, I
philosophical
thought
question.
Lumen was the inflexible
you
one.
understand figurative speech, correct? Like I just.
I like the idea that
I did not
everything
expect to
is
tear
not
people
gravy
apart with a
except for
thought experiment.
Next
Okay,
time
here's
we'll.
a different one. Would you rather go to a world that's all shrimp or has no shrimp?
No shrimp.
all shrimp.
All
Cooked or
shrimp.
cooked or like
shrimp.
alive.
I don't
Oh,
want to
wait, quick question. As like the ruling peoples?
I'm imagining a world where
I don't-
everything is
I don't want to dive from a shrimp.
Like,
Like
is,
my
So-
computer is made out of shrimp. in
is
this world,
air?
right?
If air is shrimp, then I don't think I want to go to the
I don't
shrimp
want to breathe
world.
shrimp.
Cool. Everyone's quiet. I'm gonna jump into the game. My name's Philip. I'm the publisher here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Templeflight. We've got a full complement of wonderful players here tonight. Say hello, players.
Hello.
Hello, players.
Hello,
This
Hello, players.
is our 5th. I'm right about it being the 5th, right? This is session
It is.
5. Yeah. This is issue number 5 of Templeflight, and I'm so excited to get into this. We had kind of a pretty substantial thing happen at the end of last session where we literally had half as many people here. Now we've got the full team for a brand new kind of madness. I'm so excited to get into that. Before we do so, first, I want to say a big thank you to Hello, my name is 8-Bit for rating us last night. And I also want to say that I'm opening this calendar. All right. Last night was 16. Today is 17. I am 16 going on 17. That's from a musical. What's that from, Dan? Is that Music Man?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's the Music Man.
Totally Music Man.
A D12, a swordy D12.
Ooh,
How exciting!
No, it's Miss Saigon.
I thought it was
Oh my
Wicked.
God, it is Miss Saigon.
Yeah,
I always
the
loved.
King and I.
I love Miss Saigon.
It's much darker.
It's a great show. I like. My favorite song for Miss Saigon is "Good Night Saigon" by Billy Joel.
A friend of mine's aunt got to see Miss Saigon with Lea Salonga.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I know who that
Hey,
is
you
too.
know what show Lea Salonga guest starred on?
What?
Uh-oh.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
Hey now. Look,
Uh,
everything comes full circle.
Philip, wait, Philip, do you know who Lea Salonga is?
I do know who Lea Salonga is. She's the original Eponine.
What?
From Les Mis.
From Les Mis.
Oh,
No,
never seen that.
She
Yeah.
also was Jasmine in
In Mulan.
Aladdin. No, she was in.
She's the singing voice of Mulan, not the
Oh, yeah.
acting
She
voice.
the singing voice. Wasn't she the singing
That's
voice
the
of
important
Jasmine?
choice, anyway.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
Yeah, I mean,
She was.
she can
Oh,
be
okay.
the singing voice of multiple people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I just. Was
I'll
like,
bet-
I guess I
Yeah.
was surprised. Anyway.
And I'll bet in high school she played Maria in West Side Story. Because
Probably.
Probably.
That would
feel
have
like
been the
that's-
70s or 80s, and that's how it went.
Usually.
Probably some places still goes. But in any event, that was a cool digression number 2. Let's go for a hat trick here in just a few seconds. Top Flight have been displaced in time and space. They have ventured to a alternate reality where the premier superhero organization Top Flight has been taken over by Tatiana Temple, the Cleopatra of crime. I haven't said that this whole game so far. It's very important. Everyone knows she is the Cleopatra of crime. She is she's trouble. She's made a sort of quasi-totalitarian state.
Right here in Alpha City.
She's trouble right here in Alpha City. And our heroes do want to try to reset the timeline properly. They have also, in their sort of quest to sort of figure out a way to do this, they have met up with Prez Ent, an elf with some very impressive time-shifting powers. She is looking for her own companion, McFly the reindeer. This group, knowing that they need to, basically knowing that they need to they figured out where they need to go. They figured out when they need to go. So they went there and then. And after a giant battle with an elder thing that had been summoned by this strange monster in wizard shape, they have been pulled into a realm purely of the mind, outside of time and space, the astral plane. This is where Captain Eldritch was lost in 1985 during this crisis war, during this event. This is where his familiar, the helpful devil, also disappeared. And in your timeline, though sadly Captain Eldritch of the time did perish at this point, the helpful devil was saved from the astral plane by Ghostman in the year 2005, put into a synthetic body, and he became the synth devil you all knew and used to love. Tatiana Temple went back to this point, somehow stole the power Eldritch from within the astral plane, rewrote history around herself with this tremendous magical power, and that is the event you were trying to undo, hopefully putting your timeline back in its proper shape. You have entered the astral plane. We will see how things progress from there as we completely change our rule set, and a brand new world awaits. However, before we do that,
Ooh, yes.
we do have an even number of you, so it's possible this one will come down to chat, but you have 2 choices in your prologue, and they are interesting, and one of the, well, they actually both have some interesting sort of variable options in them. So, option 1, Tatiana Temple's castle, the infirmary. Option 2, hell.
1.
A question: which time? Can we just get a clarification on time and timeline?
These are both roughly contemporaneous with the timeline that you are all currently in, around the time our last game ended. So basically,
So the 80s.
Are we talking like 2022 or 1985?
Actually, that's a very good point. 2022.
Okay, great.
I apologize. Yes, it is 2022.
Okay,
it's
then
right after you went back in time with Prez. I was thinking of astral plane nonsense. I forgot about that. So yes, these are both in 2022. That's
Okay, I still say 1.
1. All right. 2. 1. 1. Oh, we have 3. We have 3 for the infirmary. We have 4 for the infirmary. So it is the infirmary that wins. What would you have voted for, Findon?
Hell, probably.
Well, in that case, we go to the infirmary within Tatiana Temple's castle, hovering over Alpha City. The infirmary is state-of-the-art, the best healing center in the world. It is only accessed by the world's premier heroes, Templeflight. Right now, 2 of the beds are occupied, one of them by someone who is actually in trouble, the other by someone who is merely having a scan done on her. Even so, Shinobi Red, while the machines scan her heart and run analysis on some strange rhythms that had just been happening for the past kind of day or so and have suddenly stopped. she watches the bed where Dr. Mystery is being treated for his many wounds. Tatiana Temple, Captain Eldritch, appears in a burst of citrus-smelling arcane magic. Joining behind her are Synth, Devil, and Mr. G. They sort of walk over to the bed where Dr. Mystery is, and Tatiana Temple, in her inimitable style, sort of sits down on the bed and says, "Oh, Eric, darling, are you all right? Oh, what have these horrible people done to you? I swear, I thought we'd gotten rid of all the heroes." Mr. G says, "I'm telling you, something was up. I mean, we looked the place around. We saw something about that big, strong guy. Something about the way he was moving. I don't like it. Seems familiar. We should go after him." Synth Devil, at a machine, looks at Dr. Mystery. Those of you who have high insight modifiers who would have been present for this scene might notice a hint of fear on Dr. Mystery's face as Synth Devil sweeps his eyes over the good doctor. Synth Devil then says, "It would appear that they are no longer to be found, Captain. They have disappeared from this planet, from this point in time." Tatiana Temple looks at Synth Devil, fear now in her eyes. "What do you mean? What do you mean from this place in time?" "They went to the South Pacific, and then a surge of temporal magic was observed. One cannot be certain how far back they're going, but something momentous is occurring." Tatiana Temple now stands. She's looking very nervous. She says, "Who's the one we have? Who's the one we kept alive? The one with the time travel? Bring me Tactic!" Synth Devil says, "This can be done, my lady, but you must understand. He is, shall we say, limited in his power." "Then we'll overload his power. I don't care if it rips him apart. We're getting back then. Bring him here. We'll use the gate." "Of course, my lady. I only wish to help." So,
She
guys-
said the one we kept alive.
do you guys hear my neighbors exercising right now?
Yes.
I cannot hear it.
Or
Very,
maybe-
very slightly.
Or maybe
Just a little
Are you
bit.
sure
yeah.
that's exercise?
Yeah, I.
Oh,
I mean, it's exercise.
they're on the naughty list.
Or the good list. Depends on how it's going.
Well,
It's
Yes.
going good. It's still the naughty list.
In the meantime,
y'all want to know why Santa always comes down the chimney?
Nope, 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 nope.
God,
No, I
really
don't.
He
did.
knows better than to try the back door.
There it is.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
There's a lot of ways to end that one.
I thought it was gonna be because. Why does Santa come down the chimney? Because you can't get pregnant down the chimney. Listen, everybody.
True.
Hey, gang. We go some places in this game, and that's okay. So, with that, off that upsetting scene, we now journey to the astral plane, and we're going to begin with armament. Armament. For the first time,
Forever.
Yeah, I'm singing that in my head.
you hear a voice. You've never heard this voice speaking to you before, in words. But you know exactly who it is. As the Guardian says to you, "Hold." Hold. You feel the Guardian That sensation that you usually have as it moves around your body, shaping itself into new weapons and armor, you now feel in your thoughts. In your mind. You almost feel like your mind is being armored. Guarded. And again. Hold. I don't know if anybody on Twitch can hear that as well, up the upstairs.
I'm just waiting. In that case, I'm holding.
Understood. You hold.
I think this confirms there's something wrong with my speakers because I cannot hear it.
It also it may be a headphones versus.
Oh,
so,
that's right. You have headphones in and I don't.
So
that could help.
In the meantime, the other 5 of you have clung together physically as you were sucked into the astral plane, but this is now a realm of thought. Your bodies don't really exist. How are you all feeling?
Good.
Good. What's good? Like what's a good thing?
Me.
Sugar plum?
Sugar plum. And me. Okay.
Do we feel like we still have weight here?
You don't necessarily at this exact moment. Right now you just feel. Lumen is kind of feeling good. Present is thinking of sugar plums. And in fact, sugar plums... what an interesting thing this will be, actually.
Oh no. Is this like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man situation?
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to fight a giant sugar plum fairy ballerina.
Ooh.
There is, in fact, sort of a rather verdant orchard that you all see spreading out before you. A plum orchard. It appears...
But we all see that? Not just Prez?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Lumen, you see that it is peopled with many sort of kind-looking, glowing individuals. Present, could you roll me, or actually I should technically say Liv, could you roll me just one of your fate dice?
Are we corporeal or not right now? Like, we are...
Don't worry about it. I mean, you're not really corporeal.
I'm trying to determine how I feel.
As
A
I was
plus.
informed, it's a plus, not an X.
Wonderful. All right. So yes, there is a sort of it's a temperate region, not even really semi-tropical at this point. It's a rather temperate sort of forest, very mountainous region, but you see these beautiful groves of plum trees and these figures who are glowing. How are you feeling, Teleportia?
Hungry.
Hungry. Suddenly, as all of you are kind of like drifting down, there appears to be a feast being prepared, one with a distinctively sweet kind of odor emanating from it. Armament. Hold. 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 The rest of you, everything about this feels completely correct. This feels exactly what you would expect to be seen on a day like this. Findon, if you were to describe what emotion are you feeling right now?
Confusion.
Confusion. All right. This confusion spreads. V in Lumen or Present in Portals, there's a clear sense of uncertainty in the air. You see this feast is being prepared by beings who are glowing slightly. You see these beautiful plum trees on this tranquil mountainside, but there's a sense of uncertainty. V, I want you to think about... I want you to like drill down almost to like your subconscious. Think of like primal urges, much the way Portal said hunger. Think of things that might drive you. Think of emotions, goals, primal forces. Think id and ego, not so much super ego, if that makes sense. Where is your mind after you know there was just this kind of a battle just happened? Where would V's mind be after a battle with a giant squid thing?
Probably. We're trying to seek shelter.
Shelter.
Yeah.
Shelter.
Not necessarily fear, but like I need
a desire to hide. Okay, so in that case, you hear the laughter of children as they shout, "Here they come!" And all of you turn around to see that many of the other people in your village are currently wearing sort of monstrous masks. And as part of this famous sort of festival, this harvest feast you're in, they're chasing everyone. The people in monster masks are trying to paint you with brushes of kind of like sweet paint. It's almost like a food fight. These monsters are running towards you. Kids are running all about you. Children who are glowing. For all of you, as you look around, all of you that, except for Armament, that is, you now realize what's going on. You're in the middle of basically this is like the monster chase, and you guys need to get away so the monsters don't get you. So you might get a better piece. You might get a better sugar plum.
All right. I try to move.
Understood. So, do you want to try to outrun, or do you want to hide? What is it you'd like to do?
Outrun.
Outrun. In that case, I'm going to need you to make a running roll. Now, you have your fate sheet here on your page. I'd like you to look at your fate sheet, and you have skills. You can apply... you do not have access to your superb +5, but you have access to everything else. You are going to need to decide if you want one of your skills to be running, if that's something that you want to have access to, if that's something that suddenly in this moment you think that you are capable of doing. Are you good at running? Are you fast?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
You think you're good. So you could make that one of your top skills. That could be a +4. You have 2 slots for that. It could be a good. It could be a +3.
Yeah, I think I'll put it in one of the good slots, +3. Good,
+3.
not great.
Understood. So you have put running into that spot. In that case, go ahead and run, and I need you to make a running roll. You are going to roll your 4D fate, and whatever sort of balance of pluses and minuses. And for those watching at home, yeah, these die have pluses and minuses on them. Some are blank. You kind of add them all up. Pluses and minuses cancel out. What did you get to?
I feel like we found the fate equivalent of my rolling here. 0. Completely
0.
Balanced. 2 pluses, 2 minuses.
Okay.
So +3.
That's a +3 though. That's good. And actually, if you scroll down on your sheet, you'll see on the ladder that is a good result. You've done good. So you guys notice that one of your friends suddenly starts running really quickly, so he's not taken on by these people. What is everyone else doing?
Do we get a sense of the vibe of these kids?
Well, why don't...
or is it just our primal feelings?
So you have an option here. Would you like to make a skill roll to see what your sense of this place is?
I would.
Wonderful. So go to your sheet here. And basically my question to you is, do you want to... you have open skill slots. I'm not sure if everybody quite understood how that worked. Pierce was kind of my guinea pig, and I think he sort of intuited what's going on here. You guys have a bunch of open skill slots. Right now, you can fill them in, but once you've put something in this slot, that's what it is. Pierce decided...
How many? We have 3?
You have as many as there are skills on this sheet on the side. So you have 3 that will be good, 2 that will be great. Superb is currently grayed out. You have several fair, average, but once you've put something on there, that slot is done. That is an attribute of you, and you don't have a means of doing something else. So V, how good do you want to be at understanding the vibe? How good do you want to be at insight or vibes checks?
And vibe checks, yeah.
Vibe checks. I want to be good.
Okay, so you're going to use a +3?
Yes.
So type vibes into your +3. And then roll your fate dice, and you get to add 3 to whatever you roll.
Okay. Oh, so that's 3 minuses and 1 plus.
Okay, so it's a -2.
So,
Then plus her
If you
3,
have
right?
so you had 3 minuses, 1 plus, and 1 blank.
yeah.
Okay, so that adds up to a -2.
Oh, I don't understand.
Wait, 3 minuses, 1 plus, 1
got-
blank.
you
Isn't that
gotta
5
walk-
dice?
You gotta do all, yeah.
No, I
Okay.
didn't say 1 blank. I said
3 minuses, 1 plus.
1 plus.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's a -2. You take away 1
Oh.
plus and 1 minus, and that's -2.
Oh, I see. Yes. But wouldn't that be 1 because I have a +3?
Yes, it's a 1.
Oh, okay.
Your roll is a 1.
Got it.
Wonderful. So, you try to get the vibe of this. A 1 is average. And in this moment, you feel like they're kind of like whoever's behind that monster mask is probably going to hit you too hard.
Okay.
Your one friend is already running like pretty good, doing a good job of running away. But you see this. So what do you want to do now?
And when you say your friend, is this just somebody that I like? Do we perceive them as people that we know, or just like, oh?
Yeah, the person who just ran away, Pierce. The person who Pierce
Findon.
is.
Findon. Okay, because the way you're phrasing it.
You don't know who. There's Findon. In fact, I need all of you to actually delete your names at this point.
Oh no!
You're
lost
unfamiliar
our
with.
identities?
You've never heard the name Findon, but whoever Pierce is running away.
No.
Okay.
Very
Oh,
interesting.
no.
I'm going to.
I don't think we can delete our names.
Oh no, not on the sheet. I mean on here on.
You're
I know.
wrong.
I can't do blank. It's
Oh
got.
no, you can just say
Leave your username or something.
Oh,
leave your
that makes
username up.
sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So V, a friend of yours just ran off.
I'm going to try to not attract any attention and try to like disengage and just
So
slowly walk away.
You want to play it casual.
Yes.
Okay, so how good do you want to be at playing it casual?
So these skills, we only get them as they come, right?
Yeah. And you only have how many are on here. You
Yeah.
also, and I should actually say this, if this is not something you think is important, you can just have it not be a skill and then you roll it flat. You have a +0.
Okay. I would like to roll it flat.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna just try to be casual.
Yes. 3 plus is 1 minus, so that's 3.
A 2.
2. Oh.
And here's my advice for you. If you,
Yes.
when you have it, take away pluses and minuses in pairs. If there's a plus and a minus together, take those 2 away and see what's left.
2.
2. Great. Okay, so you just try to kind of blend in with the crowd, and fortunately for you, that will actually be a fair success. As you sort of just are like, okay, let's just kind of avoid this, and whoever it is you are, you kind of just back away from these people rushing you. In this moment. Let's go to the Fractal Pterodactyl. What are you doing in this time? You see one of your friends running off, the other trying to act kind of casually. You see people coming at you, kind of like about to try to like cover you with these sticky brushes that they've used to make the sugar plums. But they're sort of roaring like monsters.
I would probably try to like dodge or avoid. Part of me would want to fly, but
Part of you feels like you should fly.
yeah.
That's very interesting. Do you think you can fly?
I hope I can.
Okay.
So
In that case, I need you on your sheet. There's a column called stunts.
mhm.
Okay. What you can do is write in your top stunt box. Write the power of flight.
Mhm. Oh god.
Okay. And there in your power of flight, I need you to, next to that, just let's say, why don't you kind of do a dash and write 10 minutes, 1 fate point.
Oh.
This is so
And then-
interesting.
One faint.
1 fate point.
Oh, feet.
Although I do like the idea of saint points.
There's also saint points. We'll get to saint points. If saint points is something you want, you can have a stunt that gives you saint points. Are you going to fly? Are you going to use one of your fate points to fly for a little bit?
Sure.
Cool. Then
Let's try.
would you deduct from your top fate points there? Deduct 1.
Where? Oh, okay.
Kind of, it's like the second column there. Yeah.
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 So, 3.
Okay. And would you please, how would you like to fly? How do you fly? Do you sprout a pair of wings? Do you have like are there like is it like a jetpack? How is it that you're flying right now?
Ooh, I would want wings. Yeah.
Wings. Okay, so what kind of wings? Feathery, dragonfly, bat-like, made of knives like Archangel. What is the one kind of Archangel from X-Men? What kind of wings do you gain?
Crow's wings.
Crow wings. All right, so as one of you rushes off and another of you kind of is sort of trying to like be really casual, you hear like kind of like the fake roaring behind these monster masks of like, and you actually hear someone going like, "That's I hate when they do that." As one of the members of this kind of village sprouts these large crow wings and begins flying up out of reach. And as you do so, I kind of hate to put you on the spot for this first, and you could defer this for later. As you're sort of flying up, you have these crow wings. Clearly something you can do periodically to fly for a little while. What is your name?
I can't remember it right now.
All good. Not a problem. Right now you are confident that you are playing the game right. You're using your abilities to your advantage. This is going great. You're doing amazing. All right, so very good. So while one of you hides, one of you flies, one of you runs, the one who was called Lumen, what are you doing?
These are kids in masks, right?
No, they appear to be adults in masks, and it is mostly kids who are running, but other adults are also running too. Kind of like smiling and laughing, like, "Don't you dare," kind of saying stuff like that back. But actually, I'm going to ask you a question about that. These people who are moving, some of them are glowing.
Mm-hmm.
That's an appealing thing. Are they all glowing? Is everyone here the same kind of creature?
No.
Cool. So, yes, so you see kind of various different types of creatures. Are you glowing?
Yes.
Understood. So you're kind of one of the sort of more glowing ones. It seems like a pretty big mishmash here in this town. But what are you going to do? They're kind of coming at you, trying to hit you with their, their brushes and spoons with which they've made the sugar plums. What are you going to do?
My instinct would be to protect, put up a shield of some kind.
To put up a shield of some kind. Interesting.
Big enough that the people that haven't reacted yet would be protected by it.
You want to protect people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Roll. I'm going to ask you to make a roll. I'm going to ask you to roll your fate dice, your 4 fate dice. This is going to be a flat roll. This is kind of an amorphous skill, but if you want to put a bonus on it, you can certainly do so, and I'll kind of explain what skill that would be too, and you could put it where you want. But otherwise, you can just do it as a flat roll. If this is kind of instinctual, I'd say maybe just do it flat. But if you have real strong desires for what's about to happen, then go ahead and you can try to put a modifier on it.
So I have to decide before I roll?
You do have to decide before you roll.
But I don't even know what the skill is.
The skill in this case would be, I guess, let me ask you this. How important is it to you that you're able to do what it is you're trying to do here?
To protect people? Pretty darn.
Okay. Then just roll it flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is 2 blanks. It's 0. It's
0. Flat. Great. All right. You have this instinctive feeling that you need to sort of like stop whatever's happening and like protect others. So in that case, you are going to make a simple block check. You are just going to be putting your body in the way of people, just kind of like making yourself a wall. You may add that to, you can put that into a skill if you'd like, blocking.
And I can like block for other people too?
Yeah, a block is that you're going to use your ability to block to just try to stop anyone from coming. It could block an attack on you, block on anybody. You're going to do what?
I've put it in good.
Put it in good. Great. Okay, so roll a good roll on that.
Okay, so I got a +3.
A +3. So you had a 0 on your dice again?
Yeah, I had a plus and a minus, and then I had 2 blanks. Yeah.
Blanks again. Gotcha. So just all evens out. Great. So you also are doing a pretty good job of like, nobody come over here. Get away. You're just kind of in this defensive stance. Yes, Lauren, you're about to ask a question.
Are we driven by our aspects?
I would say that is a really good thing to be driven by.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, if you want to be driven by your aspects, you can get more fate points the more you lean into your aspects, especially if it's a problem. But at this point, we are going to actually go now, armament again. Armament, you simply hear, hold. It's a little quieter, but as things seem to be congealing around you in armament, I will say that you, will you actually make me a perception check? And you can put this in wherever you'd like, but you will have to decide now.
I'm gonna make this a this is a good skill.
A good skill. All right. You guys are all starting off with goods. I like it.
That's gonna be that'll cancel out, so it'll just be +3, so it'll be a good check.
A good check. In the distance, you feel like you're seeing the glimmers of this, and you're like, that's odd. There's like a mountain, probably 5 miles away, kind of in the haze. And you're pretty certain you see it, like, forming. Other things in the world, you see details being filled in, almost like in real time. A little painted border on the edge of a table. A blooming plum in the grove. You sort of see that things seem to be forming themselves. The voice in your head is quieter, but you do feel this sort of armor. Not on your body necessarily, but in your mind. As you ponder this moment, we are now going to go to Liv. You see all this craziness going on. You see people coming to get you. What would you like to do?
And I blink away.
You want to blink away?
I want to blink away.
Blink away, okay. Go ahead and go to your stunts on your page. And at your top stunt, how do you blink? What is the nature of this? What does this look like to someone who sees it?
It's like I go shoop, zoop. Like it's like a TV turning off, zoop, zoop, and then go away.
A TV turning off. Then yes. Call that. Then go ahead and call that blink. That's perfect.
I will if my computer would not freeze on me. There we go.
And in your stunts, write blink, and then next to it, just write 1 fate point.
Okay. Uh-oh. Okay.
And if you are going to blink away, deduct 1 fate point.
Okay.
So, as KJ, as you're standing there like blocking people, as Lauren, as you're just like kind of like trying to ease into the crowd, you're probably actually easing behind the one who's like standing there to block, like come on, don't mess with me. You see another one of you is just running, another one of you is flying, another one of you kind of just goes
Can I so yes, I would like to continue to do that, but leaning into my aspect, I would like to see, like, not want to engage, but see who I might potentially ask what's going on without being hit or yelled at or anything.
Understood. Make another vibe roll.
Vibe check. Wait, what does blank mean?
Nothing. Ignore it. If it's blank, ignore it.
So that would be 4.
Okay, so yeah, so let's walk it through because we're learning it. What did you roll? What are your 4 dice say?
I rolled a positive and a negative.
Okay, positive, negative.
Taken away, and then a plus.
Okay.
Plus 3.
And then a blank.
And a blank.
Perfect, yes. That is a 4. Which is great. So you look around, and I will say that you feel the deepest immediate kinship with the one who's running, the one who's blocking, the one who's flying, and the one who disappeared, and that guy who's just kind of standing there looking off in the distance, kind of a weird way. I would say of all of those, you feel the deepest connection with Dustin, but he's not here. But this is a vibes. This is who you're kind of going to your aspect, actually. Your need, your desperate, I think pathetic is a word I left out of it. But your need to be loved and accepted. I think the one you feel the most affinity for, actually, is probably the one who just blinked away. So she was the one who would have helped you, but now she's gone.
God!
And somehow that feels so familiar. That tracks. She doesn't know how.
All right. So you all are moving here. Now, at this point, you have blinked away. We're actually going to get to the end of that. We're going to define that in a second. Armament. You sort of see them all beginning to move. You see people dressed as monsters coming. What would you like to do right now? You don't really recognize anyone necessarily who's around.
I don't even recognize any of my teammates.
Based on what I've seen so far, what you see are you see some people who are glowing. Those are vaguely similar to what you remember Lumen being like, but they're not identical. Honestly, they almost feel like a cross between Lumen and Prez. They seem to be like more like Tolkien elves, not Santa elves, but they're kind of glowing. They seem to have sort of pointed ears, and kind of like some like minor bioluminescence. Some of the other creatures around, I mean, what else do you see? What other kinds of beings do you see?
Is there anything like manifesting from the history of the Guardian that I see?
Certainly could be.
Because I'm like right now I am looking for my teammates. I'm looking for Findon, I'm looking for Teleportia, I'm looking for V, I'm looking for Lumen, I'm looking for Present.
I want you to roll. You can roll any of these and sort of choose which one you'd want, and you can add something to it or just roll it flat. You either need to roll like a psychoanalysis, arcana, insight, something of this variety. You need to do so. It's basically some kind of what the hell's going on roll.
Okay.
WTF.
WTF.
Call it insight. I'll make it fair.
Insight is fair, so go ahead and make an insight roll.
Okay, plus minus blank, so that's going to be 3.
A 3. With a good result, there is something very familiar about the needy way the one hiding behind the other one trying to protect everybody just like got disappointed when one of them disappeared. Something about the way one of them just immediately started running, sort of taking action, that felt familiar as well. You also at this point, kind of as a little bit of a freebie and with your high perception, you're looking at your hands and they are not your own hands. Or they're not exactly your hands. What are they? What kind of hands do you have?
Lobster claws.
They're
Shrimp hands.
Shrimps.
They're shrimps.
they're like this, like just like solid, like if they were solid, like entire, like my hands were entirely made out of the Guardian's armor.
So in other words, you are. We're gonna rope this into here. Here, are you ready for this? This is what I'm just drawing whatever stuff. You are basically a creature made of jade brick.
Yeah.
You are this
like
kind of
jade.
You're a brickborn, but yeah, exactly. You're a jade brickborn. Jadeborn. So you are this sort of green figure, and in fact, there are other sort of like rock and stone creatures amidst these glowing elves. You are one of the rock and stone creatures. And upon seeing this, you feel, and of course, you still remember who you are. You're still having this like sense of like, okay. You hear one last hold. And you're now realizing that one of these glowing elves who's blocking people, you feel that's probably Lumen. And you also feel like the way that she's blocking, kind of just this instinctive, like, protect, like getting in the way of people, something about the physicality that she's using is suddenly being reflected in the various other people around here. Almost the way that when you looked at your hands and saw what you were, you saw more of those around. You also see there are a couple other people who have just sprouted wings and started flying.
So, is there a way that I can mentally mark the people I recognize?
Absolutely. No roll required for that. You are now, you can kind of like keep an eye.
Like even though there are a bunch of like these like glowing people, like I can be like there's enough distinctiveness to be like that's the one I would
completely. Right now,
that's
even
my glowing person.
I'm scared.
Yeah, Lumen you think is a glowing elf. You were thinking, I guess I'll even like pause at this moment. What are you, V? What shape are you in?
I think she's actually I think she's a child.
Okay, there's a little kid. This tracks perfectly.
This is all tracking.
What species are you? And I'm going to say this is kind of just based on the kind of where things are going and how this is doing. It seems like this is like going to be relatively fantasy. So apply that to your to what you say here in response.
Like I have to think of it now?
Yeah, I'll come back to you in a second. I'm going to ask the same to Teleportia, and I'm going to ask the same to Prez. What form are you? You're seeing some elves, but you're also seeing some other things, and I'll ask the same to Findon. But also, those aren't your names.
Something serpentine.
Fascinating. The one who's running away is in fact a scaled, green-skinned dragon person. With poison in his bite.
Okay, I think I know.
And you also don't have to know. This is everything's still forming. Armament, you even have the sensation that not everything's formed. But yes, go ahead. What are you, V?
Okay, so an elf, but a childlike elf, like in the movie Legend, but with little deer antlers.
Okay. An antlered elf-like thing.
Yeah, but not Lord of the Rings elf, legend elf.
Understood.
They're more sprightly, like a little sprite, little creature.
Okay. At this point, those people with masks are showing up. And they are, attempting to kind of like faux scarily paint people with stuff. However, one of you is flying. One of you is actively and expertly blocking, and they're kind of just doing an average job, but you're doing like good. So they're just like, and a couple of them even to you, KJ, are kind of like, calm down, lighten up, you know, and you're just like, you know, like full on whatever sort of blocking style. And I'll even go to that. Like, is this sort of like, is this all like fluid, like wax on, wax off motions? Is this just like, are you just like kind of like rough housing, just like grabbing the brush and shoving it back? Like, what is your blocking style? Are you picking up like a chair and knocking stuff away with that?
So, I don't know if this answers the question in the way you're trying to ask it, but if I'm not getting like an aggressive kind of angry vibe from these people,
you are not.
Yeah, then I would be like blocking the people that are behind me, but just out of like, you know, hey, you know, these people don't know what's going on. You should explain it to them first so that they can actually like participate if they want to. So I'm not like being aggressive back with them. I'm matching their energy, but I'm not letting them pass until people seem to understand what's happening.
So you're not being too aggressive. In that case, I think it probably is a little more just like fluid, like, you know, like knocking stuff aside kind of casually. Armament. You're just standing there, getting the vibe, and one of these masked creatures sort of runs up to you and like, roar, and touches you and puts this like glob of like simple syrup, basically, like on the edge of their, you know, on the edge of their brush, and just kind of hits you in the chest and goes, roar, and then just runs off and terrorizes more people.
I pay them no mind.
You've been marked.
I have a question about the mountain.
Please.
Can I see any purple or green coming from it?
Ooh, make another perception.
Ooh.
That will be, those all cancel out. So that's just going to be a 3 for a good.
You see green on the mountain in the form of, here's interesting. You see purple and green on the mountain in the distance because there are also plum trees growing on it.
Okay. But I don't see any, like...
It is not the eldritch purple and green you're speaking of.
Okay.
All right. This continues on a while. You are flying for a few minutes. You're able to get away. Liv, after a little bit of time being away, you appear right back in the same spot. One of the people sort of turns around and goes, what are they looking at? And I'm just putting guys on the spot, and you could always say pass, but that's how the astral plane works. It's kind of whatever pops into your head, and thus it is, and the world forms around that, in case you guys haven't gotten the vibe of what's going on tonight.
I have. It's just that the first thing that popped into my head is not.
Is what? Say it.
Do it!
It's a unicorn.
Cool, and thus, a unicorn, yes, there is basically just this unicorn who blinked away, and fawn, that is what you felt yourself so connected to.
Yes, I'm a fawn. That was the word.
So yes, you're a small unicorn. You're a unicorn about the size of like a, you're like maybe the size of like a...
Like little Sebastian.
Like that's about, or like a Rottweiler. You're like a Labrador-sized unicorn.
I'm a small unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a teacup unicorn.
And as you do that, one of these other figures, a sort of stony kind of agate-skinned creature, who's wearing one of these big monster masks, sort of turns around and goes, "There she is," and starts running to you and is going to try to get you with this. What would you like to do?
Can I like stab him with my horn?
Sure. Why? So basically, it's going to be, why don't you put you can either put
and it became a nightmare.
you can either put attack, or you can put something like get horny, whatever you want to do for your sort of horn attack. So
Okay,
what number
attack.
is going? What is going to be your number for your attack with your horn?
It'll be good.
Good.
Yeah.
Understood. All right, so add that to your +3s. Man, you guys are really saving the +4s. That's interesting. I like it.
Getting horny.
All right, so go ahead and roll for that if you would.
Okay. So I roll all 4 and then I
Roll
add
all
them
4,
up.
add them up, and then combine them with a 3. Yeah.
So 3 pluses and a minus is 2.
3 pluses and 1 minus is 2. Add that to your roll. Or add that to your skill modifier. I'm so sorry. Add the roll to the modifier.
Oh. And so the modifier is a 3. So it's a 5.
And if you will scroll down a little bit, you'll see something called the ladder. It's kind of over in like the 4th column.
Yes.
Do you see what adjective is next to +5?
Superb.
You have done a superb job here.
Of
So
getting
basically,
horny.
this person kind of is running to you to try to like get you and kind of like get you in the unicorn butt, and you just kind of turn around and you kind of knock the stick out of this person's hand, and it falls like right on their face, and they're like, and then you kind of poke them a couple times, and they are backing away like so stupid, just. And then this person, this agate-skinned sort of individual, just kind of gives you like, why you always got to be this way, and just kind of walks on.
That's a name.
Oh no. There's no escape. Whatever it is, whatever she does, there will be puns. So there's a unicorn, there's a fawn, there's a glowing elf blocking people, there's this fawn. You've now seen the unicorn return, and fawn, you feel so relieved. You don't feel you've known the unicorn the longest of your friends, but you consider her your best chance at like a real connection who'll actually be there and protect you forever, you know. She's new and there's just less baggage. Meanwhile, the artist formerly known as Teleportia, what manner of thing are you?
I want to say it would almost be like Hot Girl, but like, I don't know.
Like Hawk Girl?
Yeah.
Sure. You want to be a bird person. Is that what you're saying?
Bird person.
I heard hot girl.
I don't know.
I was
Kind of just
like
like,
a
That's what I
generic.
would do.
Oh,
Generic
hello.
really
woman, is that
hot.
what you're
I'm just
saying?
like so hot. I'm just like such a babe.
Oh boy.
Well, in that case, if you
Not mutually exclusive, just saying.
Oh, hello. We got a feathery here.
Hot girl.
you yes, in that case, I'm gonna change something for you here. Okay.
Oh boy.
Do not remove an additional. Keep your fate point where it is. Your +3, but I want you to change your refresh to 3.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
So in other words, what's happening now, and please change your stunt of Power of Flight, remove 10 minutes for 1 fate point. Instead, what this means is you simply have wings. You are a winged bird person. Do you have the face of a human, kind of with like a, but like the rest of you's a bird? Are you just kind of wear like a bird mask, but you still have like wings on your body? Is it can be a full hot girl situation, or do you have like a bird head?
I'm gonna say it's like a bird mask.
A bird mask.
Her.
So you have a bird mask and full wings, but you are in some part an avian, sort of like an avian humanoid. Great. Then just remove 10 minutes, 1 fate point, and simply say Power of Flight, and sort of you can say that you are, you are somewhat crow-like in nature. Great. Cool. So now we know what you all are. Again, think of what your names might be. So basically, yes, you notice there are other bird types, there are other rock types, fawns, elves, gnomes, unicorn. I mean, there's a couple unicorns. Those are a little less common, but they're here. But Armament, what you sort of seen, and there's even like a dragon type person, but Armament, everything about this feels very, like light fantasy. It feels very like a fairy tale.
Do I get the sense that there is like a plot line to follow then?
Armament. I would like for you to roll a skill that legitimately is only going to be available to you, because you have a little more perspective. I would like for you to please roll a narrative arc check.
I'm gonna make that great.
That's gonna be great?
Yeah.
Did you say narrative arc?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I rolled blank minus. That's a 2, so that's fair.
So Armament, you have this like sensation of, okay, I'm in a fairy tale, and the thing that needs to happen now, wait, I bet I can use this, I bet I can, and then you get a face full of just like a sugar, sugar, just somebody's just hit you in the face with one of those things. And as you sort of wipe it off your very sort of smooth, flat, kind of jade face. Yeah, everything looked like that for you for a second. It was all kind of fuzzy. As you're like, okay. You feel like you have the idea, but you haven't specifically figured out what the situation is.
So then can I look and see if there are... So am I now getting the sense that the people that I am recognizing as being more familiar to me are kind of like leading the action more or less? It feels like I saw Lumen start to block and then other people blocked. I saw someone run and then other people were running. Like I have the feeling there are forces at work here.
I think you get the feeling with what you've sort of seen. You definitely feel that I mean, you also remember what the most unlikely helpful person is. But I guess I'm gonna make it a skill because we got stuff to fill up and sometimes you got stuff to choose. I actually want you to make a skill called Recall. And this is also actually very important for you because you're the only one who can remember anything anyway.
I'll make this good.
Good. Okay, great. So.
No, good, not great. Okay, well, it's blank plus, so that's a 4. So
with a 4, with a great thing. Suddenly, it's like almost in like a kind of like an arc, almost fairy tale way. You hear echoing in your mind,
like, it's a realm where whatever you think, that's what happens. So make sure what you think is what you want it to be.
And you immediately have this sense that your thoughts are creating this world. You all manage to keep yourselves close, both in intent and physically, which did allow you to all stay in the same place. And now random thoughts from within your heads have formed this world. The sugar plums, you know where that came from. The unicorns, the fawns, like this all tracks. You're like, okay, this makes sense. Findon is a green dragon, the kind that bit him and hurt him. You're like, okay, there's something to unpack there. But as you're sort of seeing all of this, you're like, okay, yes, we are sort of dictating the nature of this world. That being said, and you saw it, like, once something has happened, like, it's not like that mountain formed and then the mountain changed. It's that now the mountain's formed and that mountain is there. And as far as everyone else seems to be behaving, it's always been there. So it doesn't seem like the world is just shaped to your whims. It is shaping to your initial feelings and then kind of filling in from there. So it's not, you don't think you could change what's going on.
So then So the world is building out as like an orchard, a forest, or like what is it, like what's the deal like?
It feels like a tranquil mountain village surrounded by plum orchards.
Then in like fairy tale fashion.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a big. It does seem like there's a feast or festival going on. I'll also re-mention that part. Yeah.
Then I want to imagine, like I think of like the mountain range leading leading us to where the Eldritch Force is.
Make another narrative arc roll. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. Armament, you are going to need a fantastic... No. You're going to need a fantastic success on this.
That's not a fantastic success.
Now, you have fate points. Your fate points can be spent 4 ways. One is to activate certain stunts. One is it simply allows you to make a re-roll of a roll you just made. Another option is that with my approval, if I agree, you can try to invoke an aspect that fits the situation. And if you do that, it will give you an additional +2 bonus.
To that roll that I just did?
To any roll. You could spend a fate point to re-roll and then spend another fate point to get a +2.
Okay, I definitely want to spend a fate point to re-roll.
Go ahead and re-roll. You dig deep. Again, there's like more just like children laughing nonsense around.
No, that's not even close. That's 2.
Armament, you look off in the distance and you just have this like... There's this like moment where you're just like, be there. And you feel like you're like trying to like, you know, create like a castle on top of a hill in the distance, like an obvious journey point. But instead, you just see mountains.
Okay.
You see a world that doesn't look like it's forming anymore, at least not within visual range.
Then in that case, what I want to do, and like, well, I'm like I assume this will take time.
Sure.
Given, you know, the fact that time is weird, you're notwithstanding. I want to go through the village and look at like, if it's a mountain village, there's like a temple or like someplace like that. And I want to look at like, I know why we came here and our minds are building this. I want to look and see if like the unconscious parts of our minds have written something into the lore about this.
Wonderful. So basically, Armament, you're just kind of like, all right, this looks harmless. You're going to let them all do what they're doing, and you're just sort of like walking into the thing.
Yeah.
All right, now here's an interesting thing, and for you, I'm actually not going to have it be, I'm not going to let you sort of go on this, because you still are technically Armament.
Sounds of rings are never good.
Multiple rings is the worst.
Is this I'm just making sure this is not like an offensive word. Sometimes I just roll letters for fantasy names, just making sure this isn't something offensive in a language or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna go with it. As you begin walking away, a dragon-scaled woman appears at your side. She kind of has green dragon scales. In fact, all the dragons here seem to be green. She's kind of just wearing like the simple robes that you are wearing, that most of the people here are wearing. And she sort of pauses and says, Nopaz. That's N-O-P-A-Z. That's your name, pal. She's like, Nopaz, where are you, too much of the festivities for you?
I need to clear my mind.
Oh. She's gonna look at you for a second and say, I know that this must be a very hard time of year for you, Nopaz. She's still with us in spirit, though.
As are all of us.
You can't be alone forever. She kind of chuckles and pats you a little, not overly familiar, but like very warmly. Make an insight roll on that, actually.
Oh, come on. Where was that roll when I needed it for the narrative arc rolls? That's 5. That's a superb.
She pats you longingly. And you do know that her name is S-Y-M. Her name is Simka, S-Y-M-K.
Oh, wow, that's like a Hebrew for joy, so.
Oh.
The rings don't lie.
S-Y-M-K? There's nothing after the K?
Well,
Nah.
Like,
Okay.
Simcha is.
Do you want there to be?
No, I was just...
That's fine.
But you definitely get a sense with that 5 that whatever... You're not really forming this reality. It kind of seems like to be taking a mind on its own, and you just kind of being like you just acting sort of like removed has conjured this image that like you have some departed wife, you know, and backstory, and all the widows or unmarried women in town would just want to get on your rock body. For a moment,
everyone loves a depressed widower, right?
You know, and here's the thing: Rocky Jumper springs to mind for a second. You can basically picture Rocky Jumper, stoically standing there, across from you, just with this look on its face. This calm, kind of cool demeanor, and you understand that what it's saying is "get it."
I mean, Rocky Jumper is the best wingman.
Oh my god, Rocky Jumper's such a good wingman. Do you know why? Because he fucking listens.
Yeah.
He's such a good wingman.
He's like a steady rock.
He's so steady. He's so rock steady. I apologize to KJ, who just doesn't like this joke, but I will like it until the end of time. So you head into town to look into stuff. The rest of you. And here's another thing. If you guys don't want to literally kind of have to come up with names, we can generate some names for you as well. If you'd prefer. If you want that to not be a thing that you're dictating. I'm kind of allowing you to...
I've got 2 name options.
Wonderful. I'd love to know what they are if you are ready to share.
Well, either Candy Mane or Mistleful.
Mistleful?
Yeah, like mistletoe.
I think
Candy Mane.
I think you should be Candy Mane for reasons
I like Candy Mane.
Yeah, I think you should be Candy Mane because now you are referencing one of KJ's old characters in a subtle way. And so I think you're Candy
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she played a unicorn who owned a candy empire in like a 2-year campaign.
And she also interned with Santa. Just fun fact.
Yeah,
so.
this
amazing.
is deep connections here. So we have Candy Mane, we have Armament No Pause. If anyone else has a name they want to use, otherwise we can sort of auto-generate. I think at this point I need to start calling you guys something.
Yeah. The name that I had come up with is Grant.
Grant.
Yep.
Spelled weird in fantasy things, or there's some unnecessary apostrophes and such? G apostrophe R-A-N-T?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go with that.
Mr. G for short.
What about you, or what about anybody else? Teleportia, Lumen, V?
Yeah, I think she's actually gonna be Chaa.
Chaa! Oh, that's
Chaa.
Rad.
Chaa!
Chaa, man!
All right,
Chaa.
so we have Chaa, Nopaz, Grant, Candy Mane. Any ideas, Lumen? For your glowing elf?
I kind of want it to be something like definitely like a play off being like good and stuff, but really like on her high horse too. You know what I mean? Because Lumen.
Oh, how about your name is Sanctimony?
Like I get what you're saying, but that I don't think I can even say that.
Well, just Sancti.
I'll just call her Saint, I guess. She can be Saint.
Saint? Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Amazing.
All right, Saint. We have Saint, Grant, Candy Mane, Chaa, No Pause, and
Wanda Bunny Feet.
Wanda Bunny Feet. Okay.
Why wouldn't it reference your hooves? Because you're a fawn.
I don't know. That's
Okay.
just your name.
Anyway,
All right.
hello, I've got goat feet. My name's Wanda Bunny Feet. This is my dog Alligator. So, as you all sort of have kind of settled into your personalities, I'm going to mention one other thing to you all. If you notice on your sheets, aspect is one of many slots. So you can, we can add some new aspects to you all as we go. These aspects can be informed by your old life on some weird reflective way, or they can be wholly created by what is new. Wanda Bunny Feet, I will say, however, like at this point, all those people in the monster mask are kind of like backing off, and Simca is kind of calling out, "All right, everyone, well, it is time now for the feast. You have vanquished the monsters, well done. Come, let us gather and enjoy the sugar plums."
Can I tap on Saint's back?
Sure, of course.
Excuse me. Are you going to the feast as well? Because I don't really know if I should go to the feast.
We all we don't recognize each other. Well, I guess Armament does, but we don't recognize each other as like V and all that. But we know that we're friends because earlier you were saying that.
You know Wanda. You're very familiar with Wanda.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you all remember each other for sure. Believe me, you know Wanda.
Okay. In that case, okay. I'll be going to the feast as long as we all are going. If you're nervous, I can protect you.
I would like that.
Okay.
Because I would like that a lot.
Yes. Don't fear. I will protect you if we go. And if we don't go, I will still protect you. Because
Thank you.
you're good. And good kids get protection.
Thank you. That's
Did
really
you all-
nice.
Did you all want me to hold a table at the feast for everyone? I can get there ahead and get a spot for us.
We will follow behind shortly. Yes, I think that's a good call. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just gonna sort of follow the instructions and try to go get a spot in the feast.
Grant, you changed the apostrophe place and you put an E on the end. Damn it. Okay, fine. Yes, updated. So yes, you're gonna run over to get the thing. Actually, go ahead and make a running roll.
Sure.
Let's see if you could beat the rush.
One.
So, okay.
I rolled 3. Here,
Yeah.
I'll demonstrate this since people can't
Yeah.
see the dice stuff.
Yep.
Plus 3.
You have a +3. If you had a -2, it's a 1. Ooh, that's bad news. You're going to the primo table, the table you guys always like to sit at whenever there is an outdoor meal. However, rolling up in front of that table, we're gonna do because you're all we'll do a D8, so the 2 8s are gonna be things other than those. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Oh, perfect. Grant, as you're sidling up to the table, another dragon person, another dragon folk, slides into position with some of her cronies, and kind of goes, "Oh, Grant, I'm so sorry. Were you trying to sit here?" Whoops, I totally wouldn't have, bumped you aside and had us all sit down here, and all of her friends are kind of chuckling. But if you want to go hang out with your other friends...
I don't know why you need to do this at every feast.
Well...
every single time.
I don't know what you're talking about, Grant. I'm just trying to have a normal conversation and have a meal with my normal, cool, regular group of friends. But if you want to go sit with that kind of very strange little collection of weird creatures and unicorns... I'm so sorry we took this table. Granted, I don't think between the feathers and the hooves, everyone would have fit in here. We expected more from you, Grant. This person's name is Javegia.
Well, Javegia. Just try not to choke it down too fast this time.
That's what she said.
Whatever. Oh, Grant. If only you.
Philip, I gotta lean into my aspect here and punch her in the face.
Understood. Go ahead and make a punch roll.
It's a 2.
Okay. These are all characters being made on the fly. She's going to have a +2 to her defense. So you kind of swing up, and you punched. You didn't give yourself a punch.
Actually, I should.
You can always do so later, but we're actually going to say you did, since you just did it. Kind of like you can always do it, even if you haven't put one on, you can put it on later. But once you put it on, you've sort of locked it. So you go to this, and it's kind of this thing. She's going to reply. Actually, no. This one I'm going to roll, not the ring of the thing. That's she doesn't fight back. She kind of just does a block of her own, and you punch, and Javegia just like with lightning fast reflexes catches your fist, and all of her friends go, "Ooh." She goes, "Oh, there must be some mistake. I know you weren't trying to attack me. Not a trash dragon like yourself. You should hurry before they're out of table scraps for you and your weird friends." And she sort of sits down, and Grant, you turn around just in time to see Chaa, Candymane, Saint, and Wanda standing there as this other dragon folk has just insulted them all, and now she sat down with all of the other ones.
Did we hear any of the exchange?
Yeah, like okay, so Saint would hear that this woman or dragon, woman or man, sorry.
It is a female dragon.
Female dragon, that she's clearly like bullying and kind of just being a general ass.
Yeah.
And that is bad. So what she would like to do is like have the equivalent of like smite her and just like have her cease to be because she's bad.
Okay.
And I understand, like, I probably can't be that powerful, but that is the energy that is coming from Saint.
Saint, based on what you've done so far, if you're cool with it, I'm kind of just trying to, sort of like lean into the stuff. You're going to run to her and attack. Is that the idea? You're going to try to, try to force her to not be. I want you to, again, roll a, I think, so far, it seems like you're taking a more physical shape, just kind of based on how you rolled last time. Why don't you roll another flat one for me, actually? Roll your 4D fate.
Flat, -2.
-2. All right, so in that case, I'm going to say that sort of the shape that you're taking here, things are sort of so weird, so strange. You have the same sense of right and wrong, but you, in this realm, don't really have any sort of magical acumen. Nevertheless, you are very good at blocking. You're very sort of like martially focused. So as you run forward, I'm going to go a little monkey, not monkey animal, monk-like with you, as you're sort of going to try to do just a very pointed, stunning strike kind of thing on this person, the equivalent of a smite, like a really well placed knockout punch. What would you like that to be in your skills?
What do you mean? What do I? Oh, like the pluses? I mean, I really think she's evil, and I really think she should not be. So I guess a 4.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and roll. So put in palm strike. Okay. Put in kind of we're gonna have that be your vibe basically, and go ahead and then roll a palm strike attack against her.
Ooh. Okay. So that's 3 plus 4, 7.
A 7?
Yes.
Okay.
Does she cease to be? Does she cease to B, is her history erased and we just forget she ever existed?
She also rolls a -1, so this is numerous levels of this. So, you have beat her by 6, so she's actually gonna have to take a consequence.
Okay.
No, she won't. She'll take a physical stress 4, and then she'll take a mild consequence. And I'll get to how the damage works for you guys, but we'll sort of get to that later. But as you sort of run at her and strike her, she like tries to turn back to block, but you just with this like perfectly placed glowing palm, you like strike her kind of in the shoulder, and she falls over the table, like sliding off the table, knocking sugar plums this way and that, crumpling on the ground. At which point she is going to invoke one of her aspects and say, "Mother!" At which point Simka comes over. "Oh, darling, what's happened?" She goes, "That horrible elf just struck me out of nowhere. Oh, we were just trying to talk, and I was trying to say they could sit at the table." And her mother, who is one of the village elders, and in addition to being very, very horny for no pause, is also kind of in charge of a lot of things. She shows up and just sort of stands over you and says, "Saint, what is the meaning of this?"
Simka, you know your daughter is a dirty liar.
"Mother, oh, you know I would never lie. Oh, no."
She was being very mean to my friends.
"Look, Mother, she split my lip open. I'm not
You're lucky
pretty
that's the
anymore."
only thing that was split with all the evil that is inside you.
"Saint, that is enough. If you cannot behave yourself at the feast." Oh. I really wish that you would learn some more manners.
Simka, it's my fault.
Well, Grant, I also expect much better from you.
I'm sorry. Don't shut them out of the feast because of me. Let them eat. I'll go off.
Listen.
No!
No one goes off. It's fine. Just here, all of you sit well aside from Javajia's friends, and you just come over here. Who's supposed to be watching you 5? Oh, probably no pause. Oh, I shouldn't be upset with him, should I? He's so in over his head trying to take care of the 5 of you. She then turns to Saint, and there's hate in her sort of yellow dragon eyes, and you smell poison roiling off her breath. This very intense. That's kind of like the dragon equivalent of like a parental just like stare down. And she just says, "That man is trying to take care of you. Stop making it so difficult for him. All of you." She now looks at Wanda, Candymane, and Chaa as well.
Oh, wait.
We weren't trying to stir up trouble.
Oh, Candymane.
Perhaps if your rules applied equally to all people here, there would be no trouble.
They do apply equally to everyone. Just no pauses. He just needs a lot of support, and after tonight, I think he needs it. Well, anyway. Chaa, go ahead. You were about to say something.
Could I invoke my aspect in which I actually just came in just now?
100%. Chaa shows up late,
Yes.
and as such, Chaa, with that, sort of Simka looks up and goes, Oh, hello, Chaa. Do me a favor and try to keep your friends here in line. They've been causing trouble. Yes, it would be. It would
Do
be
anything.
Great if you could.
I didn't cause any trouble. I didn't want to upset anyone at all.
Don't worry, Wanda. You are good and you are okay.
Well,
And Saint is making a mental note
just
that this
here,
woman
just-
is also evil and will need to be smited later.
Just enjoy your sugar plums. And she sort of sets stuff on the table and then just sort of turns around and walks away. Sort of shaking her head. So now the 5 of you are all sitting together. Armament is off doing stuff.
Saint also says thank you, but I
see we have raiders. Hello, raiders. Yes, we are currently in a fairly crazy thing. They've gone to the astral plane, and we are basically we are they only only Dan's character Armament remembers who he is. The rest of them arrived here, and I took away their characters and their memories and the system. We're now no longer playing a D&D superhero game. We're using Fate, and based on some of the weird stuff they said at the beginning, we're in some kind of like fairy tale fantasy realm full of unicorns and fawns and light elves and bird people and rock people, and it's all sorts of crazy stuff.
There's food on the table now?
There is food on the table. There are a bunch of plums cooked in a variety of ways. Some savory presentations, plum steaks, plum cakes, sugar plums, salt plums.
Can I hoof it down?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I will as well.
Okay. And I have to say, Stirrup Trouble was made like that was high level punnery there. That was really good. So in any case, you all are gathered. If there's any conversation you'd like to have as these characters you don't know anything about. That being said, I would actually like for Saint, under aspects, this is a negative one, I'd like you to write vindictive.
Under aspects?
Mm-hmm.
Vindictive is probably more judgmental, but whatever. Okay.
No, this is more that you've said it. You've sworn vengeance.
It's not vengeance, it's justice. She doesn't see it as vengeance, it's justice.
So anyway, vindictive, and then I think that's all the aspects will apply here for the moment.
She's like Judge Dredd, but like brighter.
I really want to see that. I really want to see that as like a pull quote on a movie. Like just like some movie poster right at the top that says Judge Dredd, but brighter. Says Peter Travers, Rolling Stone.
I think you just described the White Ranger. I think you're just the White Ranger.
Oh. Fair.
I'm into it. All apt descriptions, yes.
So, wonderful.
I just sorry I didn't get the good table.
That's okay. This is a great one.
think
I
we're
like
right.
this one a lot. Maybe even more.
You did your best at the task you set out to do. We can ask nothing more.
I mean,
We still get food either way. So, win-win, I still say.
And the evil will always get just desserts in the end, so never fear.
Oh, there's desserts?
I think it's all just desserts because it's plums, even though some is savory.
yeah, I sort of feel like everything's kind of in the dessert category, Wanda. I think you're probably right on that.
Thank you.
So, as you all kind of have this sort of familiar moment, settling into these new personalities, as far as you know, this is kind of what the world's always been. You live here. Apparently, you're all taken care of by this kind of guy named Nopaz, and you're definitely just kind of like, right now you're just fixated on you know what it is? Here, I'll make it relevant. Here we go. You all feel like you were supposed to be having a meal, right? Like you maybe stepped away for a second. You went to a scary thing where monsters were chasing you, and you went to what you thought was your table, the best table. But now some bad guys are at the best table, and like you don't belong there. They're like, you're not supposed to be here. Something's wrong about this. That worked so well. Isn't that shocking? Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Bravo.
So, as you guys,
Did you say table or stable?
So anyway, as you guys,
You know he said table. You know he said table.
as you are all experiencing this, we are going to go to Nopaz. So Nopaz, as you sort of walk through the now empty town, everybody's kind of at the village in the center. You are heading to the temple.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to ask Chaa. What's holy here? What is the ultimate symbol of good? Kind of based both on your own feelings, but also on what you've seen in this place so far.
I would say water.
Water.
How dare? The answer was obviously saying, how dare?
Water. Water is life. Water is the way that the trees can grow. It makes perfect sense. Water is important, and no pause as you walk through town. I'm gonna say with your high perception thing, you hear it before coming upon it. You notice that hadn't really seen this before. This village, this mountain village, is on the side of a beautiful cascading waterfall. It seems to go down over this long, tall cliff down to a mountain lake below. There is kind of a river up above that you can kind of see in the distance. And in fact, there are several springs, natural springs throughout town. This definitely makes sense as a place to sort of form a settlement. There's a lot of like natural water sources, and you're on the edge of this water. Getting down, of course, you know, how much fishing you guys do in that lake, it's probably a very long way down and up. Although you do have some bird people in town.
Right, yeah.
So maybe not so bad after all. So no pause. As you sort of come here, you see that in a holy place, the part of town closest to this beautiful fairy tale waterfall in which a full rainbow spectrum is being refracted here in the afternoon light, you see this gorgeous temple. A temple to a water deity who seems holy in this town and whose sigil is that of a waterfall.
I'll go in.
In the temple, you smell incense burning. You smell, sort of like, there's various shells and other sort of, artifacts from the sea, so there is kind of that almost sea, ocean scent in this place.
Like wood, like mosaic, like on the wall, like what's the...
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Mosaics both of tile and wood, maybe even some like driftwood mosaics. You're probably far from the beach, but this seems to, even with kind of whatever this deity here is, a deity whose name is G. L. L. I need one more, hold on. I'm going with it because I basically just rolled it. Galaga.
Ooh.
I know it's a video game. I don't care. That's what I rolled. This waterfall deity's name is Galaga, and I'm into it. So at the Temple of Galaga, you
So I go. I'm like just looking. What I'm trying to do is like looking at like I assume like most temples or religious places will have like some kind of like art mosaics, like story, like friezes on the wall that depict stories, and I want to see if there's anything.
Absolutely, there will definitely be some stories being depicted. Go ahead and make a. Ordinarily, I would say this would need to be a religion check, and honestly, for anybody else, it would be. But because you have this outside perspective, you're looking for patterns that you might remember from like action movie, Saturday morning cartoons, whatever. Go ahead and make a narrative arc roll. Narrative arc is my favorite skill I've ever had in a game, by the way. I love this so much.
Great. That's a 3.
A 3. You are definitely seeing glimmers of things that you think might correspond, and there appears to be some sense of a great power, but some kind of magical elemental force, some kind of really strong thing. You think maybe this corresponds to the power eldritch, those you seek. However, you just don't have the grasp on things here. Like, you have a good understanding, but you need a great understanding to sort of see this. So I'm going to give you 2 options. 1, you could spend a fate point, reroll, see what you get. Or you could spend a fate point, and this is something you guys can also always do. You can spend your fate points this way. You can spend a fate point to have the cleric of this temple, the priest or priestess, not at the village and actually be here, and maybe they can explain things to you. For 2 fate points, they can definitely explain things to you.
I'll spend the 2.
Spend the 2. And her name is V.
Her name's not Simka?
D. VQD. VQDKO?
Let's go.
Vuketko. Yeah, Vuketko.
Vikadika?
VQDKO.
Vicar.
Her name is actually, I'm gonna add ample things to here. Her name is going to be Viquedico, and I'm going to put that into chat. I'll even put this into
several vowels and
Viquedico.
Viquedico.
Vicodin? What?
Her name is Viquedico.
Oh my god.
Viquedico.
We need a Vicodin emote to go with the Benadryl emote now.
Yes.
Yeah, throw up Benadryl for now, but that is Viquedico. Here, I'll put up some Benadryl emotes here.
Viquedico.
Viquedico. She can smooth you
Viquedico.
out. So Viquedico. Ooh, and I gotta roll a D8, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 other things. 2. A glowing elf steps kind of into the chamber. Glancing at this, she sort of says, "Oh, no, pause. I'm surprised. Surprised to find you here. Why aren't you at the feast?"
Quick, been finding myself drawn to these stories, and I'll gesture specifically at the one depicting like the power on the whichever part of the wall is depicting that more and more lately. And I was wondering if I could trouble you for your knowledge on the matter.
It's interesting that you're drawn to that. There's I'll tell you privately something I've not even shared with Simka. Lately, my divinations, my dreams, the ripples I've been seeing in the waterfall have indicated that there's a terrible danger on the rise. Something very old is waking up. The world is out of balance, no pause. Even though here things are calm. In other parts of the land, there's a sickness spreading, a wrongness. This legend, and she sort of gestures at the mosaic you're looking at, tells of how in ancient time there was a great power. It's simply called, and then she looks right at you, the flow. The flow's what was used to create the world, the first waterfall. It flowed through all things, made the world good, but then someone diverted the flow. The Dark One, long ago, set things wrong. To defeat the Dark One, the heroes, they gathered up as much of the energy as they could. They diverted the flow themselves. They stored it. They kept it. They bottled it up to the point where it had to burst forth. Almost like a waterfall. When there's no one else to go, it just goes down. They seem to put the Dark One in his place for a time, but I think that perhaps he's been bottling up the energy as well. When it's a perfect circle, the water falls, and it goes down, and it returns to the sea, and then it's scooped up into the sky to the clouds, and rains down again, or snows down again on the mountains. There's a cycle. But when the water is stored, when the power is stored, droughts or floods, things are out of balance. If you're really feeling this way, perhaps you should journey to the sea. Perhaps you should journey to the source.
And the sea is the source?
There is no one source. That's part of the problem, Nobaz. The water should be going in a circle, but if it's all going to the sea and it's not making it to the sea, if it's not coming up, here things are tranquil, here things are Here things are fine for a time, but every year there's less and less water, just a little.
So I should go down the river then. Follow that and see where that leads.
We both know we're not talking about you going down a literal river, of course. We're talking about the river of your heart, Nopaz. I know that you miss your wife. And it's very kind how you've been taking care of those sort of strange collection of kind of that motley crew who don't really have anywhere else to go, but you need to focus on your own self. You're still a young guy. There's a lot of ladies in town who'd be happy to have you, I'll tell you that much. If I hadn't taken vows of chastity, I'd be, I'm kidding, of course. I mean, I'm not, but I'm saying that in a light-hearted sort of way. You understand.
I understand, Viquidica. I suppose that at some point the flow will roll over, but until then,
well,
I can't help
try to let it go along its way. There's no wrong place to look for it, though. That's sort of my point. You could go down to the sea and see if something's not letting it go back up in the sky, or you could go to the top of the mountain and see if it's barren up there and there's less water coming down in the snow. The point is, somewhere in the circle something's wrong. It's all metaphorical, of course. Climate change is a hoax. There's no such thing as that. Everything's fine with the actual water. I'm a fundamentalist, so that's where my position on all this is,
Of course. Well, I think you've been very helpful.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I hope that you find whatever peace you're looking for.
Thank you.
It's funny, though, this mosaic you're looking at. In the original drawing of this, or in the original artwork, I was reading about this. It used to all be these beautiful amethysts and emeralds to make this. Those are purple and green, right? Fuck.
Yeah.
Amethysts and emeralds they were, to represent the power. I've heard about that from sort of other kind of, in the larger cities around, but here we just draw it with a simple burst of water.
Let's see. Quite I'm honestly having a hard time parsing between your metaphor and what is and what isn't, but thank you.
Oh, well, I mean, as far as I know, it's all just metaphor. I'll tell you this, if there actually is a dark one who's going to come, we're all in big trouble. Because,
we're all strong together, Viquidica. We'll be fine.
Well, that may be true, but I mean, as much as people have little bits of magic here and there, and their little tricks and their blinking ways and they're sprouting their wings and such, no one has power like what that's supposed to be.
No. There's only one way to find out, I suppose.
So you say. She kind of puts a hand on your shoulder. Make another insight roll.
That is -1. So that's a +1, so average.
You don't think she's longing. You don't think she's longing for you. That was just a friendly pat.
Yeah.
But you can't be sure. So with that, you have gained some information.
Okay.
I also feel like because you spent 2 fate points, she'll probably add in some sort of specific way. Like she was talking about how in earlier things this was depicted in emerald and rubies.
Yeah.
She will mention Pogia is the castle. The great castle of Pogia, which is now abandoned. That's where she said it used to be depicted as amethysts and rubies.
Okay.
There you go. Plot point, movable thing, narrative arc, mildly satisfied. Check mark. You get it. Lord in heaven. All right, cool. So with that, we'll cut back to the feast where the rest of you are enjoying your plums. And I guess now there also is fish. We just established that birds can fly, so you have some fish.
Yeah. Pretty good harvest. All things told.
Love plums.
Yeah.
What?
Plums and fish.
What plums?
Yeah, what?
I love plums.
Yeah.
Oh,
Plums.
That is not what I
Yeah,
heard.
I heard you.
Yeah,
Did anybody else hear butt plums? Okay, thank you.
something close to that, yeah.
Okay, I heard butt plums, but I could tell that the mic just
Yeah.
cut off the rest. So I assumed she said I like plums or I love. I was like, I know what I heard is wrong, but I could figure where she was going, so I didn't. But I heard butt plums, yes.
Plums do look like little purple butts, which I think is very cute.
So they are butt plums.
Yeah.
Butt plums.
Well, it sounds like that's just plums, right?
All
They're all
plums are butt
They are butt
plums.
plums.
Plummy butts. Wait.
No, we're not doing
Oh,
that.
okay.
Talk about plumbing the depths, am I right?
Hey.
So, in any case, you guys need to go back to the people who take the special organ out of. Anyway, so as you guys finish your meal, Grant and Saint in particular, you are probably irritated to see Javegia like super playing up how injured she is, especially whenever Simka's around. She's like, it's so much pain. I'll be okay. So tender, etc. All that nonsense, and just her mom is lavishing, kindnesses on her.
You never win with her.
I wish I had a mom.
You don't have a mom?
I don't think so.
But
In fact,
She'll just go back to eating more plums.
could
Chaa, go
I
ahead.
try to give the mean lady some pills?
You want to give her pills?
What pills do you just have? Do you have just Benadryl on hand?
Okay. Okay, here's what we'll do. Go ahead and create a stunt called Apothecary.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, so Chaa is adding to the lore of this. So Chaa has studied to be
Oh, God.
Apothecary. So you have a second stunt called Apothecary. Now, Chaa, you're also going to need to have like an apothecary skill. This stunt is basically allowing you to even have the
yes.
tools to attempt this and such. So, what level do you want that skill to be?
I'm gonna make that fair.
A fair. So you're able to do it, but you're not amazing. Okay, gotcha. So you have an apothecary. So go ahead and make an apothecary roll.
Okay. All right.
She only dispenses generics, is the thing.
Oh, and so so you're rolling a D100,
Yeah.
and we have this.
Yeah.
We have this thing as well. Yeah.
All right. 74.
74 is a +1. So that is a 3. That is actually good. So you can. What kind of pill are you trying to give her?
Something that helps with the pain.
Oh, something that. Oh, you're actually helping.
Yeah.
I was imagining that you were like gonna dose her with like.
So I was absolutely thinking like, all right, yeah, we're gonna end this bit for now, and it'll be great.
No,
Yeah.
that is-
All right.
Oh man.
Well, then the tenor of this has taken out completely. So in that case, you reach through your pockets and you find some extremely effective kind of like you've condensed it into nice kind of capsule form. These are some pills that actually are legitimately helpful to kind of like, you know, make you kind of like take the edge off of pain, promote healing. There's probably some valerian root, because there's always valerian root. I don't know what this would be. Probably poppy seeds, quite frankly. It's not enough. There's not going to be an opioid epidemic because it's all about the, you know, dose. So yes, you're going to present her with one of these pills. Are you just going to walk up to it and give it to her? Or are you going to like try to like smooth talk her some? Or are you going to try to, you know, bridge some gaps, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll probably try to bridge some gaps.
All right, so in that case, you can call it charm, or you can call it like persuade, whatever you want to call it. But you will need to have a skill for that. So what level do you want that to be at?
That'll be good.
Good, wonderful. So your charm, persuade, however you're going to term that, is fine. And go ahead and then make a roll on that.
All
on
right.
your D100.
That says 1. I have 2 zeros, so is that
0, 0, 0? Everything zeros?
it just has 2 zeros. And a 4.
She's rolling the D100, remember?
Yeah.
So you rolled a 4 and 2 zeros.
Yes.
So that is actually a 4.
Okay.
So that's a
Okay.
-3. Had it been a 100 as a +4, this was going to be a 7, and this was going to be absurd. If you'd like to spend a fate point, you could re-roll that.
It's towards the end of our. Sure.
I'd burn him if you've got him, guys.
Yeah.
So we get the fate points back, just like with the hero dice?
Yeah,
Okay.
you get it back every session. And that's not
Okay.
even me just being weird. That's how the game works, yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's called refresh. Makes sense.
So that's 55.
A 55 is a flat, which is going to be a +3. So actually you do a good job of picking the right pill, and you do a good job of walking over and kind of trying to present this to Javegia. These fucking names are so before next session I'll
rolling the ring.
but I love to do it, so it's like tricky. Because sometimes they're great. Remember Nopaz? Remember Simka? Remember Galaga?
Galaga was pretty great.
In any case,
Yeah.
Chaa, as you sort of head over there, are you so basically kind of also remember, Chaa, Simka knows you showed up later, so you were not to blame for this. So Simka has no problems, and she is very gracious of you, and she encourages her daughter to Javegia to sort of take this gratefully. She also knows your skill. So, and Javegia sort of says, "Thank you. Oh, my throat is so sore as I swallow it. Thank you." She's like, "Very good."
Got punched in the shoulder and her throat is sore from taking a pill. Oh my god.
Yes, Mommy, it hurts so much because those I know they're so underprivileged, but I just wish they weren't in our village. I wish they just were gone. They just should.
Wish
No,
you
you're
wouldn't
talking
talk
so
so
much. I
bad
don't
about
think you're a
us.
little horse.
You guys aren't there.
Oh.
And Candyman, yes, I heard the little I'm giving you credit for your puns, but you're not there. Chaa. Are you putting any extra sort of energy into this persuasion?
No, a part of me wants to be like, oh, to help you stop being a pain, kind of phrasing kind of thing, but like she doesn't really understand that I was trying to go that way.
Sure. So
But,
you kind
like-
of you just do this as a normal thing. You're not actively trying to like smooth gap. You're just kind of trying to help, and it reflects well on you. Very good. Simka does appreciate it, and she says, "Thank you." And then Simka leans into you and just says to you, Chaa, "Thank Galaga that Nopaz has you." Oh, that man. Chaa, I actually have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just about, I don't know.
Oh no.
Do like late at night, like when Nopaz is having dinner with all of you, Are there any other women from around the village who like come around sort of late? Like, I know a lot of women bring dinner, but they don't stay and eat with all of you, right? And then they don't stay after that, right? Over like as you all go to bed, like, and if they are, what are their names?
I would rather not talk about what No Pause does on their private time, because I feel like that's not something I should say, you know.
So you're saying No Pause spends private time with people? It's fine. I mean, of course. I mean, okay. Well, thank you for healing my dear Javegia.
Of course.
If you do just ever kind of want to share a name with me, it's no judgments. It's something I should know as kind of being in charge of town. That's all.
Would you like me to ask how he feels about you?
Oh my god, that's crazy. Wouldn't that be so funny if you did that? Wouldn't that be like so hilarious if you asked him that? That would be hilarious, Chaa.
Yeah?
Oh my god.
So don't tell him. Okay.
No. I mean, if you're feeling in the mood for a joke, you could ask him that, and then you could tell me what he says, I suppose.
Okay. Sure.
That could be really funny.
All right. Yeah, I'll tell him this joke.
If you know, it's just like as a joke, like, would you ever think of Simca as, never mind, but anyway.
As a what?
Just don't worry about it. Thank you, Chaa. Don't even bother yourself about it. Just if anyone.
All right.
But certainly, I would say that if anyone is ever trying to sort of like stick around after you're going to sleep, just certainly, you know, discourage them from doing that. Because I mean, No Pause, he needs his rest. He doesn't need people keeping him up, boring him, you know. So yes, wonderful. And she kind of just just kind of walks away. No Pause. At this point, I'm going to say that you return. As you see Chaa walking away from that, you see that irritating kid Javegia. It's funny, No Pause, you kind of do like you're beginning to remember who everyone is, even though you know they're just like, you know, like pop-up book characters kind of coming to life. Right. But now you and I'll also say with kind of a little bit of time as you look at them, even though they don't look anything like they usually do. Grant is Findon, Chaa is Teleportia, Candymane's Prez, you're pretty sure. But kind of process of elimination. Wanda is big V vibes, and
are they all like children aged him compared to me?
You know what? For narrative purposes, yeah. They're varying. You're definitely like of like an older generation. Like Grant is maybe more like a teenager. You know, like it's not like, you know. But they're all somewhat youthful, and apparently in this fairy tale village, all the lonely children in town live with an old widower. Apparently that's what everybody said made the most sense. So yeah.
He needed something to take his mind off the fact that he was a widower.
I feel like we're skating on really problematic. Yeah, sure. So in any case, yes. But you can come over to their thing. You do see a bunch of cooked plums and stuff. Yeah. You see some butt plums. They've made the plums look really accentuated.
Maybe he lives in the other shoe, and like, you know, there's the old woman in the shoe. He's the old man in the shoe.
It's all like 80% there. Yeah, exactly. So as you gather with this group, you all look up at No Pause, this figure who you are familiar with, but he's always been kind of distant, removed from you to some extent.
Saved you some fish, No Pause.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you. How's the meal been, everyone?
It's been really good.
Very plummy.
Totally uneventful.
Great. Excellent.
Before the meal was eventful.
Come on, Saint.
Yes, Saint?
He should know the truth.
Saint has to tell the truth. I get it.
Yeah. I forget, what's her name?
Javegia. I'll put that.
Javegia was spouting more of her evil nonsense, and I tried to silence her forever. I was unsuccessful, but she did learn a lesson. hopefully.
Do I need to go apologize?
I don't think you do, no.
I gave her some pills.
That was very kind of you, Chaa.
When you help evil, you just ensure that they are evil one day longer.
I just hope that I can maybe like change her, you know?
You cannot change evil. There is evil and there is good. And you are good, and you are naive for helping evil, but you did your best.
Now, I want to remind you that people do have a chance to grow and learn from their mistakes and from experience.
Perhaps. Not that one.
It's just dramatic.
No pause. To whatever degree you were maybe doubting any of what's going on,
right? Yeah.
Saint, you've just been anchored back to reality, and in fact, like you hear like the comforting words of the Guardian for a moment as you're just like, Lumen got it, and it's just hold, kind of like the Guardian is almost like encouraging itself and you, like the Guardian is sort of keeping you, tethered or whatever, and you're like great. So is there anything else you want to say to them? No pause.
No, just
then in that case, as you kind of just take your bearings here in this new place, that is where we're going to end tonight's issue.
Saint will just say one more thing to No Pause.
Please, yes, of course.
Just in order to further prove that she learned nothing from the experience. When Chaa gave her the pills to help the pain, she claimed that it hurt to swallow after I punched her in the shoulder. She is still lying.
Well, did she have anything to wash them down with?
Just more of her lies.
Dry swallowing can be very painful.
You also did, punch her across a table and she, fell on stuff. But it's fine.
Did she fall on her throat on the inside? No! Did she swallow the complimentary sandpaper that was on the table? I stumbled through it? Absolutely not.
All right, Saint. Look, after the meal, we'll all talk about something. I have something to talk to you all about.
And on that tag, yeah, that's how you. That's an act break. Wonderful. All right.
That's narrative arc.
That narrative arc. Well, okay. Thank you all. So sorry to kind of spring that on you so mysteriously, players. That's what I meant by everything will be crazy. What was fun to me is literally however you guys first started talking, this could have been a Western, this could have been like a cyberpunk, this could have been anything. And I heard fantasy. Sugar plums, and I was like, well, plums growing that, and I heard whatever, and I was like, there's a festival, and boom, it's Hungry turned it into a festival, which felt very, so there you go. So that's kind of how I like to do Fate. Fate, I think, is a very fun system for anybody who is watching. We'll sort of say a couple things about it. The Fate system, they often encourage you in Fate is kind of like a very general kind of like a system agnostic rules set. So you don't have to, or setting agnostic is the term I should use. It's designed to be used in any kind of genre or any kind of game. And some games encourage you to do different things, but the idea is, what I love about it is you have only so many skills that you can, so many options to gain sort of the equivalent of proficiency in a skill. Otherwise, you're just going to always roll your, what's a good lineup of them so you can sort of see the difference between them. You're going to roll your 4D fate and kind of combine blanks and pluses and minuses and see what you get. So you have a set number of things that are of your skill. So what I like to do is not have the characters build themselves ahead of time, and you just kind of start playing, and whatever you decide you're good at, that's what you wind up being good at. So you kind of want to be a little strategic, and I don't want to use my best ability on this thing too early or late. None of them, for example. Did any of you do an average? Did any put anything in +1 today? Yeah. I find no one ever does average. Everybody's and eventually there's going to be critically important things, and you don't have anything open. So you're well, I guess this one's average. So it's kind of a fun thing, and I just like to do it as this kind of spring it on them. And in this case, they sort of were. It's not that they don't know who they are; it's that they think they're someone else. So hopefully, in spite of being in this other world created of mind, they can still find their way.
Nate knows exactly who she is. She's got it. She's nailed it, man, right there.
Indeed. Well, thank you all so much for watching. This was super fun. Thanks for enjoying, we hope you enjoyed. Thanks for indulging us as we do kind of another system. If you like what we do here, please follow us or subscribe. If you have a Amazon Prime account, you can link that to your Twitch account and get a free subscription. If you don't use it for us, use it for somebody, because it's free, but you do have to renew those every month in a way that is obnoxious. So also make sure you renew them if you've already given them to someone, more than 30 days ago. And let me tell you, boy, does a month go fast these days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. We have some other fun games to watch if you enjoy noir things, and a la what our Kickstarter the Kickstarter we just wrapped up. We have our noir game tomorrow night, Gray in the Dark. That is at 7:30 on Tuesdays. We have on Fridays Blood from a Stone. They are currently also in a noir setting called Heistales. This game could have been noir also. That's what's hilarious. Like, it could have been anything. And then we have on Sundays Here Be Dragons. Last night's Here Be Dragons was a lot. I was scared a couple times in it, just on behalf of the players. I felt Improbable Rolls had made Improbable Rolls had made a hard encounter into a potentially deadly one, and I was very nervous throughout that game. And then, of course, we have this game every Monday. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Do anybody else want to say anything, plug anything, mention anything?
No.
Awesome. Well, in that case, we are going to send you guys on a raid to
Total Party Chill. I feel like if you're enjoying all of the darkness we get up to, they're currently doing a horror western setting right now. So it's sounding pretty dark. So I think you'll probably enjoy it based off of if you're here.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, then in that case, check that out. We'll head to our closing screen for a second, and then we'll go over there. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, have a temple night. Bye-bye.